hope you're having a great day and welcome to Dizzy Tales. If you're new here, welcome to the Dizzy family. I'm Allie, and over here that you can see in the background is my service dog, Louie, and hopefully he'll show his cute little face. He turned 2 yesterday, which was super exciting, and we celebrated that. I was actually going to film outside today because it's super beautiful and getting sunshine helps me so much, especially when it comes to my mental health, but that just didn't work out. We're in my bedroom next to the window, so I guess that's the next best thing. But speaking of mental health, a lot of you have known or have seen that mental health is becoming more of the forefront. A lot of people are speaking out about their mental health, what they're struggling with. Therapy is being normalized, and a lot of people in the support groups I'm a part of are talking about mental health, whether it's they're struggling with anxiety or depression, and how that goes with vestibular migraine. Anxiety and depression can be comorbid with vestibular migraine, meaning that they can go together, and it can be a vicious cycle of, especially anxiety, feeding off of each other. So you might be anxious, it triggers a VM. You're anxious during your VM, and then you get out of it, and then you're anxious about VM happening, so then it triggers it again, and it's just this vicious cycle, and a lot of people really struggle with it, including myself. Today I really wanted to focus on mental health and how vestibular migraine affects our mental health, and share a little bit about my mental health journey as well. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. I want to preface this with, I had mental health issues way before I got diagnosed with vestibular migraine in 2020. Let's just rewind. I was in college when all of this started really coming up, especially my anxiety, and I struggle with panic attacks and my depression. I guess a little backstory, a lot of things snowballed in a very short amount of time, and when you're under a lot of stress and a lot of events happen, you're bound to, something's going to happen, whether we like it or not. In this case, I was in college, I was a double major, doing that in 4 years, pushing myself way harder than I should have been. I also had a really good friend pass away suddenly, and my brother had been fighting brain cancer. He's all right now, and just some other things had happened as well that contributed to this huge snowball, and that just literally avalanched, created an anxiety and panic disorder that I still currently have, but I'm learning to manage. That was the first time I'd ever been put on an antidepressant because I was having 7 to 10 panic attacks a day. I wasn't able to enjoy the things that I loved, let alone trying to get my homework done. It was just I was a really hot mess, let's just put it that way. I'm really thankful that I finished college and started my teaching career until vestibular migraine hit. Fast forward to March 2019, which is when my first vertigo attack hit. If you haven't heard about my vestibular migraine journey to being diagnosed, I'll put up a little card here for my video called Spinning for 2 Years. So having vestibular migraine, I didn't know what it was at the time, made me feel very isolated because everything had literally been stripped from me. I was no longer able to work, I couldn't take care of myself, I had to have my husband help me shower, walk to the toilet, get in bed, get dressed, make food, and take care of the kids as well. It really takes a toll on you. And when everybody else is out living their life and you're stuck in a bed because you literally can't walk without falling, it makes you feel really, really isolated, and it makes the depression even worse. And that's where my depression started to snowball. I felt like I had no purpose because I wasn't teaching. I had no idea what I was going to do the next year, if I was even going to get better, if we we even knew how to manage what I was experiencing. That fall, I hit rock bottom. I had been on antidepressants, like I said, to help manage anxiety as well as the depression aspect of it. But in reality, the antidepressants was just making it worse because we found out that fall I actually had bipolar 2 disorder. So instead of being on an antidepressant, I really needed to be on a mood stabilizer. That season of my life was really dark. There was a lot of tears that were shed, a lot of thoughts that I never thought I would have, including, those suicidal ideation thoughts. I was in therapy. I had no idea what was going on. I just knew I didn't want to get up in the morning. I didn't want to live this life that I was in. I just felt worthless, and it makes me really sad to think that I was in such a rough spot during that time, and I'm really thankful for my family and my friends for helping me get the help that I needed, because if I didn't get the help, I might not even be here. And so I went to a psychiatrist, continued to go to therapy every week, and I finally, was getting some relief because I was on the right medication. I am doing better. A lot of that has to do with the support from my family and my friends, my faith, just hanging on and clinging to Jesus, especially during that time. That's pretty much what kept me here on this earth, was knowing that he wasn't done with me yet, and that he had a greater purpose for me, even though right now I still can't figure it out, but I know that at some point he will reveal that master plan, and it's in the works. My therapist thought, since I was at home by myself a lot and what I was going through was so isolating, and I was very lonely because obviously the kids go to school, my husband goes to work. So she recommended me getting what you would call an ESA, so an emotionally support animal, which then evolved into training Louie to be a psychiatric service dog, because I was having trouble being independent and going out into public and having panic attacks in public. By training Louie to help mitigate that mental health disability with my anxiety, and also having him here to get me out of bed with the depression when it was bad, was really, really helpful. And now he alerts to my vestibular migraines. Now he's a medical alert dog as well. And God put him in my life at the right time, and I love him so much. So a year later, after my big mental health breakdown and crisis, I then saw Dr. Bay, and he diagnosed me and confirmed that I had vestibular migraine. Like I said, already having PTSD and bipolar 2 disorder, it really played into vestibular migraine. Without really trying, they became comorbid. A lot of people who have vestibular migraine then develop depression or an anxiety disorder, along with other things. There are also lots of, mental health consequences that come with having a chronic illness, and in this case, vestibular migraine that we're talking about, because vestibular migraine can make you feel so isolated and alone and not understood. I know for me, there's not a lot of people in my area, actually at all, especially my age, that know either what vestibular migraine is or have been diagnosed with it and are walking the same walk that I'm walking right now. A lot of my support comes from the support groups on Facebook and VeDa, and those who are advocating for vestibular migraine and migraine. I know for myself, I become anxious because I don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to have really bad vertigo this time? Is it gonna happen in public? Am I gonna be able to make it through this family function? Am I gonna be able to make it through the grocery store without one being triggered? Should I even be driving? A lot of these what ifs and cycle just keeps going, all the what ifs that you get when you have anxiety. And that piece right there of having all this what ifs and anxiety will then trigger a vestibular migraine, and then you have the anxiety of what the hell is happening to me right now. Pardon my language, but that's like literally what I think is like, what the heck is happening? My body is not doing what it needs, like what it's supposed to do. I don't know what's happening. A lot of people, when they have no idea when the first vertigo attack hits, it's like, am I dying? Do I have a brain tumor? What is going on? And you know, your brain goes to all those irrational thoughts until you have all those tests that clear you of the more serious things. A lot of things I still struggle with having vestibular migraine is the different perception that I have of myself. I feel as if that everybody around me is living their life to the fullest. They don't have to go through as many obstacles as a person with vestibular migraine and navigating the world that way. So you kind of just have, I know for me, like a different perception of myself. Like I feel like I'm super weird and that I'm not myself. I'm not how I used to be. That can be really hard, and going out in public is really hard too, especially around people that knew you before you got sick. And I know for me, I'm still working on that. Like I know I'm the same Allie who's bubbly and has a great smile and is super creative and very smart, but it's just overcoming those thoughts of like, why is this happening? I think the thing that's really like helped me like work through that different perception of me is my faith in Jesus. By all means, I don't think I'm better, like cured in the mental health department. I know that I'm gonna have this for a long time, probably the rest of my life, and I know that it can be manageable, just like vestibular migraine can be. It can be manageable with the right treatment and can also go into remission as well. Some patients do end up going into remission, which is awesome. I also want to let you know that there's nobody around you who can relate to what you're going through. Get on a support group. There are a ton on Facebook. You can also check out VeDa's website. I'll link that down below as well. And they have a lot of really great resources about vestibular disorders and mental health. The main thing I want to get across is do not give up. If you're having those suicidal thoughts, please talk to somebody. Tell somebody what you're going through. And the first step into all of this, I know with me, was like telling somebody that this was happening and I didn't understand why, and I didn't like these thoughts, and I didn't want to do anything stupid that I would regret. Just don't be ashamed to ask for help. It took me a really long time to ask for help, and that's the best thing I ever did, was ask for help. Whether that be with your mental health or coping with vestibular migraine or with whatever chronic illness or vestibular something that you may have. Just know that there are people out there for you, even people who don't even know you and are in groups. We're here for you. Share if you're struggling. Tell somebody that you're struggling so that we can be here for you and encourage you and be with you every step of the way. Another thing I want to touch on too is self-care. That has helped me tremendously with my mental health. Taking time to take care of myself, whether that's going and taking a walk with the dog out in the sunshine, whether that's if you're feeling really crappy, just sitting next to a window with the sunshine coming in, or sitting outside, snuggling with your dog or your cat or whatever. It could be watching your favorite movie, getting your favorite takeout, painting, just doing anything that you love to do. Doing your nails, getting a massage, but just taking time to take care of you. And I've learned that if you don't put yourself first, nobody else is going to.
Hello, are you back?
I think that's all I have for you today. I know this is probably a really rambly video.
Hi, Louie.
I am coming out of a severe migraine, so migraine hangover. Whoop whoop. Brain fog is frog. The brain fog is real right now. So I hope that you got something out of this video. If you don't get anything out of it, just know that I'm here for you. You're seen, you're heard, and valued, and just don't give up. Just don't give up. Thank you for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in the next Friday video. Bye!